have some things lifted because they're way below certain numbers versus another area. Secondly, I want to talk about the vaccine mandate. I am a mother of 2 kids with congenital heart defects. We had a 1 in a million shot of both my kids having the same congenital heart defect. Right now, the COVID vaccination has a 1 in 20,000 shot, or 1 in 20,000 people having expanded heart issues. To me, that's a huge number. So think about things like that when we talk about having just a blanket vaccination for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody, and that's still a huge number, and we need to be cautious of that, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy. All right, folks. Next public commenter is Jessica Blischke. Jessica, are you here? And we still haven't heard from Carrie Zarowski. She's not here. So now we have 2. And Frank Heimerdinger. Okay, Darren Ash, you're next. Darren Ash. Darren, please state your name and your school affiliation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Darren Ash from Lapine, and I'm just here to say thank you all for doing your jobs, the jobs we voted by an overwhelming majority for you to do. Whether or not people agree or disagree with the outcome of the vote, that was the outcome. And so I thank you for following an evidence-based approach to keep our community safe, our schools safe. And again, just thank you for doing your job, for being here, coming to South County. I know you're putting a tremendous amount of time and energy into everything that's going on. So just thank you.
Okay, thank you, Darren. All right, next public commenter, Liz Batterson. Liz, are you here? No Liz? Okay, Christine Simone. No Christine, all right. Karen Reitberger? Karen, did I say it right?
No.
Can you tell me how? Ripberger?
Yes, it's Karen Ripberger, and I'm from Lapine.
Thank you.
I'm here today to say thank you to all of you. I thought about running for school board, and quite frankly, I'm glad I didn't, because I think your job is extraordinarily difficult under these circumstances, and I thank those of you who decided that you would serve, and I applaud you. I'm a retired teacher, and when COVID restrictions came around and we decided that we would open schools up again, and I watched as there were people who were demanding teachers go back into classrooms without masks and before there were vaccinations, and I watched the care that you took to protect your staffs and your students. I was most grateful and very impressed. Nobody under these circumstances does a perfect job, but you have worked together to come up with the best solutions that you can, and then rolled with the punches when new regulations came down the pike. It is an impressive job. It is good to see that we have people who work together. You have worked together to keep your marginalized students included. And so often they just fall by the wayside because we decide to do what's best for most and leave the rest out. So thank you again for doing a really stand-up job.
Thank you, Karen. Next speaker is Christina Harding. Christina Harding is not here, okay. Eric Bewley. Eric Bewley. Josh Luttrell. Josh, please state your name and your school affiliation.
Hi, my name is Josh Luttrell. I have 2 students at Three Rivers. Just want to start by saying thank you. We came from a district outside of Portland where last year our kids attended 2 days a week for 4 hours a day. So thank you for making in-person learning a priority. That said, the mask mandates and social distancing, what is this group going to do to move us past this? The effect it has on our children is great. And I want to tell you, I say that as a public servant who spent 16 plus years front lines working with kids. My wife, the same, she was a teacher. And we left our roles because of the impact that these mandates have on our children. We saw firsthand what this does to our kids and how little things like a mask and not being able to see somebody smile. My 2 children have teachers, they have never seen facial expressions. Imagine being a kindergarten teacher trying to teach phonetics with a mask on. And to that point, my wife attended an orientation to be a substitute teacher here. The presenter took off her mask because she was so affected by having that thing on her face. This is ridiculous. The fact that we're sitting 6 feet apart, history will not look upon you well as leaders for what we've done in the name of safety. This is ridiculous, and it's hypocrisy. Our children are seeing this, and they're wondering to themselves, why is it I can walk into a restaurant, like somebody brought up earlier, but I can't go to school and pull down my mask? Why is it they can't do that? And I'm asking you, the Oregon Health Authority is full of people that aren't elected. You are. You have a choice today to make a decision for Bend Lapine School District, the right decision. Do it.
Thank you, Jack. Please refrain, folks, please refrain from clapping. Thank you. Next speaker is Jenny Peskin. Jenny, please state your name and your school affiliation. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Jenny Peskin. I live in Bend. I've lived there for about 20 years. My daughter goes to school, she's a senior at Mountain View High School. In 2004, I spoke at a meeting much like this one, but instead of the school board in Sun River, I was speaking to the Bend City Council at the Tower Theater. Back then, it was still illegal, or it was still legal in the state of Oregon to discriminate against someone based on their sexual orientation. I'm proud to say our city council then passed unanimous ordinance protecting people based on their sexual orientation. Now it's a statewide law. I come here tonight thinking back to that time, knowing that I was on the right side of history. I am here tonight to say thank you to all of you for the work that you're doing. I'm here tonight to say that I'm a settler on stolen lands of the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs. I support so many things that we could be doing in our schools. You are making our kids safe. Let's move past that. I would like to see, y'all are gonna love this, tampons and pads in every bathroom in the middle schools and the high schools, and not just the girls' rooms, because trans kids need them too. I would like to see gender-neutral bathrooms whenever possible because they're good for all citizens, not just our kids who are trans. I support comprehensive sex education. I support free condoms in the schools. I don't agree with abstinence-based education. Currently, our sex education is not comprehensive. My daughter is not receiving adequate sexual education. Comprehensive education has been proven to reduce unwanted pregnancies, not increase them. I support the vaccine clinics that you've had on campuses. Thank you. I support our kids and staff wearing masks. I support our students learning about the true history of our country. I support the recruiting and hiring of more people of color to be teachers and to be decision makers in our school. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. All right, our next speaker is Stacy Cox. Stacy, please state your name and school affiliation. Thank you.
My name is Stacy Cox, and I'm with Miller and Pacific Crest. I have 2 healthy, active kids that take vitamins, they eat balanced diets, play sports year-round, have no underlying health conditions. My kids are not at risk for becoming extremely ill from COVID-19. Mask mandates need to stop. My son recently developed a sore under his bottom lip that became infected. His chin doubled in size and he couldn't talk because it was so sore. I took him to urgent care where they cultured it and sent him home with a topical and oral antibiotic. The culture came back as MRSA. So we had to switch his oral antibiotic and keep him home from school. Had it gone untreated, he could have developed sepsis with potential life-threatening side effects. Show me the science that these masks are doing anything but psychological and physical damage to our children. Both of my kids came home with COVID from a week-long summer camp in August. They had a runny nose and a mild cough that lasted about a week. As their mom, I have taken care of every runny nose for the past 11 years. And this virus was easier than croup, norovirus, influenza, and we've never mandated masks or vaccines for any of those. The FDA recently approved the emergency use of the Pfizer vaccine for children 5 to 11. I strongly encourage our school board to keep the power in the parents' hands and leave it up to individual families to receive the shot or to pass. Placing a mandate on a vaccine that has no long-term studies on children is reckless and unnecessary in this age group that has almost 100% survival rate. My son dreams of being a professional athlete one day. If he were to develop myocarditis, as many male teens are from the vaccine, that dream would end immediately. My daughter wants a family of her own. I'm not about to put an experimental vaccine in her body that could cause infertility to prevent a virus she has already had and has natural immunity to, and that had such mild symptoms. Florida schools have been wide open and mask-free. The public school enrollment is increasing daily, and they have some of the lowest COVID cases in the country. It's time to rethink our approach before more families choose private school and we lose more local funding for our public schools.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. Okay, next speaker, Nicole Murphy. Hi, Nicole. Please state your name and your school.
Hi there, I'm a parent of a student at Ben High, and I'm also a teacher on sabbatical at Pilot Butte Middle School. Oh, you started me already. My name is Nicole Murphy, and I wanted to speak this evening because during my 20-year span as a teacher and parent in this district, I feel that I have some helpful suggestions for the board and the administration. Suggestion number 1, hire more general education teachers in high school. In my experience, the best way to help all students succeed is to hire more teachers for the general ed classes in order to decrease class size, thus reducing burnout rate for teachers and giving students more one-on-one time with their teachers. Before leaving Ben High in 2019, my largest class was 53 students, and I had a total number that year of 243 students. Over time, my classes got larger and larger, yet I was kept at only part-time, while my full-time colleague across the hall taught advanced courses and had much smaller classes of only 15 to 20 students. Suggestion number 2. Keep preps to a minimum and hire more teachers and instructional assistants. While at Ben High, my Bio 2 and Earth Space classes consisted of a wide spectrum of abilities. Time after time, I asked the administration to be bumped up to full-time in order to accommodate all of these different learning groups. Yet instead of just adding another section, which would easily be filled, I was told I would have to take on a whole other course. When I taught in Hillsborough, I had a health class just for students learning English. I was able to teach the main points of the class in Spanish, which allowed them to keep on track with the course. Suggestion number 3, encourage the trades as well as college. During my years at Ben High, we celebrated College Day, but never mentioned much about the trades. It occurred to me that many of my students I taught were not college-bound and would have benefited from learning more about pursuing a skilled trade after graduation, something my own son is looking into. Suggestion 4, make curriculum easily available to parents. Not only is it a parent's right to see what is being taught in classes, but as elected officials, it is your legal duty to provide transparency to the parents and guardians of Ben Lapine students. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, our next speaker is Nicole Gauthier. Did I say that right, Nicole? Gauthier? All right, Nicole. Next speaker, Ricardo Waits. Ricardo's not here either. All right, Greg Haycock. Hi, Greg. Please state your name and
Where am I supposed to?
right over here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. My name is Greg Haycock, and I want to speak about division. That division is inherent in all societies where systems allow greater access to some and create greater barriers for others. I'm not here to discuss the division that most people are discussing today. Rather, I want to talk about what it was to teach in inner city schools in Los Angeles back in the 1980s, when the whole language people were opposed to drill and skill, direct teaching of phonics and grammar, the kind of approach that now is being talked about here as explicit dialogical instruction to advanced literacy. So when I came here, we lost this battle. Constance Weaver at national conventions wouldn't allow any of us who had inventive methods to speak. And the result of this is that you have these kind of workbooks that you've been using and the Dibbles test, all of which are wholly ridiculous and don't really assess properly. And that we've abandoned the idea that teachers can teach each other how to teach fundamental skills in a dialogical approach that actually works. Now, at this point, you're taking the right path in terms of evaluating all of this. But I encourage you to get in touch with Shemia Fagan. As the Secretary of State, she should be evaluating the efficacy of these tests and how much they cost. And what is the cost in time that's spent dealing with them, and how much is lost in terms of this, and how to go about this differently. What you see is that you need to unite with other school board members, and that the battle that's happening here is just a reflection of a much larger academic battle about how kids learn. And this is a national battle. So take it to the state, let her evaluate, that will give you some solid ground to stand on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. All right. John Eskew. John, are you here? Rory Blumenschein. Okay. Just want to check if any of the names